Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akian. And this is a video going into, it's a breakdown of the recent attack on the Israelis, right, on the state of Israel by Hamas, by Hamas, quote unquote Palestine. And this is just a video going into it, and how it was performed, the operations that were used, number of soldiers, and everything that they did in order to make that attack possible. You know how they passed the defenses of the Israeli armed forces and the different weapons and tactics they use, which of course in and of itself is suspicious. But this is going into this. When you watch this video, you realize that more and more the war drums of war, right? More and more, it shows you that the nations are preparing for war, and that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh is rousing up all these nations and all the heathen to prepare for the eventual World War III that will take place. Which of course we know that World War III is not going to be fought by between men, which is, or China and Russia are going to fight the US, or Israel and Iran are going to fight each other. That's not what World War III will be about. World War III will be all the armies of the world against the armies of Allah Yahweh, with Allah Yahweh and Michael the Archangel heading the forces. It's going to be Revelation 12. It's going to be Second Ezra, the 13th chapter. That's just a brief summary, giving you an idea of what the World War III is really going to look like. So when you watch this video, you realize that the nations are getting ready for war, that even the poorer nations are starting to improve in their military tactics and are starting to get better with their military and their use of weapons. And it made me think of this precept right here in the book of Joel, the third chapter. So this is the book of Joel 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. That is going to be the title of this video. Either let the weak say, I am strong, or beat your plowshares into swords. Because and this is something that you see happen for the past 5 or so years, which shows you that the nations are preparing for war. The military budget of various countries are becoming more and more increased, right? The military budget, the defense budget is all going to the same thing, because what you realize is that a lot of the defense forces that these nations have are basically just, your normal average military made to prepare for war. The military budgets of these nations are getting higher. These nations, you see more and more countries doing military parades, military exercises, testing different weapons and things of that nature just to show their power. Okay, these prophecies concerning the preparation for war, it is getting louder and louder. You had a time when there were just rumors running about what could come next, about different countries in beef with each other, different countries, looking to start conflict or having little conflicts with each other concerning different policies and things like that, and eventually it leads to the breaking point basically that we are in right now, which is any thing could just trigger a potential. Anything could be a potential trigger for a war. It looks. Every. It seems like every other year, there's a threat of war looming. Last 2 years, was it not 2019? There was the threat of World War III when the US bombed that Iran general Khashoggi. I think 2020. It was that C-19 and the lockdown, so there wasn't really much going on there. 2021, the same thing. 2022, I believe that was early 2022. That was when Russia first invaded Ukraine, and that was another threat of World War III. And who knows what will come in? Okay, Sakia 2023. That was what I'm thinking about. Early this year, 2023, was when Russia first invaded Ukraine. And who knows what this coming this coming end of the year to the new year will bring as well. Those with other, potential, heavy prophetic events that will come, because you already see prophecy moving forward and prophecy being more and more apparent with every day that goes by. And this is just an example of that. The nations are preparing for war, right? The weaker nations are building themselves up, increasing in their military tactics and improving their weapons of war in order to fight against the more powerful, more advanced nations in terms of military might. Okay, and this is really all being done because right now you see these things happening. You're thinking that, oh, well, this is being done because they want to fight against each other. The nations want to fight against each other. But the reason why this is really happening, the reason why all the nations are preparing for war, why all the nations are improving in their military technology is because the Most High, Yahweh Shani. Let's go to that. In the book of Joel 3, verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And really, this is the reason why you have all the nations preparing their military prowess right now. They are about to be judged by the Most High Yahweh Shai. This is all the part of the plans of the Most High Yahweh Shai. Let me also go to the next piece that I wanted to bring out. The reason that every war is you don't just get that. Let me just get the percent. Men dipped in blood. Battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, which is really giving you an example of what modern warfare looks like. It's no longer, men fighting. It's no longer men physically fighting against each other or skirmishing between armies, where they'll be running, where armies will be running towards each other and slashing each other up with swords or fighting each other directly. Now it's drone strikes. Now it's drone strikes, bombs, air strikes, and different things of that nature. It's all just throwing. It's all just them, firing each other with missiles, which is how exactly the same thing that happened in this Hamas attack on Israel. If you watch that video going into the breakdown, right, it's showing you how Hamas, bombed some key locations in the Israel armed forces, and how Hamas, attacked, some military bases with I forgot what they incendiary weapon, which is basically explosives, and things which is basically explosives. That's exactly what this modern warfare is, just throwing bombs at each other, attacking with unmanned drones, attacking with airstrikes, dropping bombs left and right. That's really what modern warfare is looking like. But this is still the same. Let me. This is still the same thing that the nations are preparing for, right? The nations are preparing for war. There's a reason why, like I said, there was a military parade because this could be the driving force to World War III. But of course, you know that this matter won't escalate until, or rather, we won't escalate to the point of actually starting the World War III until the next prophetic event. Because you see these things happening, right? You see, Israel waging war on Palestine, and you see all the nations gathering and jumping at the chance to support Israel, and you see Israel accusing Iran of being a part of the attack, and you're getting excited. You're thinking that something is going to happen because if because of the bricks, right? That's basically what you're thinking, right? Because of the bricks, if Iran retaliates to Israel, or if Israel doesn't anything to Iran, right? It will have the BRICS nations have to stand up and get their hands basically, have to stand up and support their fellow BRICS member. And I think it's yourself like, okay,
and I think it's like if anything happens to Israel, the US and Babylon countries will have to respond, and so will all the other allied nations with Israel, and could actually trigger World War III as it's written, the list of the flock shall draw them out. But we still have to wait for the next major prophecy, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast, to be pushed on the earth. And that's the next big thing that we should be looking out for because really, you know, all we can do right now is just continue to watch and pray. Just keep an eye on the situation that is going on the earth, like the men of the Lord, the men of the great millstone have been doing. So with that, I think the video right there once again all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Bakak, Badash, Wa, Bad Babal, until the spirit of you are come and you are part edified. Shalom.